You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unat Gentry. It is Tuesday, June 6th. Well, a boat and vehicle fire sparks Monday. Fire Chief Scott Lewis tells us what happened.
Just before the dinner hour yesterday, we were dispatched for a report of a structure fire in the area of McMurray. As crews were responding, a large smoke column could be observed from the distance. As they arrived on location, they found not a structure, but a boat that was in storage at the rear of the property. The wind-driven fire had extended to several nearby placed vehicles. There were no immediate structures as exposures. There were no reported injuries or life safety issues. Crews commenced a quick attack. They extinguished all the vehicle fires, including the boat. And then through the investigation, we learned that the fire was at the hands of a juvenile. The juvenile probation officer and Nye County Sheriff's Office investigate with prompt fire rescue. We determined that this was an intentional act, but accidental in nature. In other words, we had a juvenile playing with fire within the boat, ignited the boat, attempted to extinguish themselves, and then, of course, were unable to control it. 911 was subsequently called by family members, and therefore our response. The investigation is continuing, and the fire was easily extinguished and controlled without further extension. There were no injuries.
Now, Fire Chief Lewis is also updating us on a structure fire Friday evening on Melissa Lane.
Late Friday evening, we were dispatched for a report of a structure fire. The initial address was in the area of Melissa and Jean. As we arrived on location, we had found heavy fire conditioning, so what appeared to be a vacant, unsecured, single-wide manufactured dwelling. The fire was actually located on Melissa. There were exposures, including a well house that the fire had extended to, and there were 2 other trailers located on the property which were not immediate exposures. Our primary concern was that did we have a life safety issue attached to the structure. A resident, or actually a person who was visiting a resident on that property, indicated that there was no life safety issues, there were no injuries. However, there was a person observed leaving the scene, and we developed a suspect name for that particular fire. Nye County Sheriff's Office was assisting us with the investigation, and we're still investigating as a potential and intentional act, as there were no accidental ignition sources still available in the structure. There was no power to the structure. The structure was in various states of decay, and it appeared to have been in the process of being dismantled, as there was a large dumpster located next to it with a lot of materials from that structure placed in it. Our firefighters did a great job. They commenced a defensive exterior attack, which means that there was no structure to go into. They quickly mounted an effort where heavy water on the fire, which quickly controlled it, and then was mopped up using individual hand lines. Crews were in service for approximately 2 hours fighting that fire. There was no further extension, and there was no firefighter injuries as well.
Well, it's dry and hot out there, which means it's brush fire season. Here's an update on one that sparked this weekend on Rusty Drive.
On Saturday, we were dispatched for a report of an unknown type fire in the area of Simpkins and Panorama. As crews arrived in the area, they found a large rubbish fire. This was an area that was difficult for the larger apparatus to make way to. Once they did, they found that a large rubbish fire with an immediate exposure, partial structure, was well involved, and they also were informed that a pickup truck was seen leaving the scene as soon as the fire was reported. Crews easily extinguished the fire. There was no further extension, and there were no injuries related. The fire is under investigation, and we're in search of the pickup truck or any witnesses that may have had a better description of the person or the truck itself.
In other area news, while Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies were arresting a woman for a warrant, officers also found something on her person that was of suspicion. RJ Camacho gives us those details.
On June 5th, last month, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to Tonopah Station Casino, and upon arrival, officers recognized a white female adult known as Kimberly Gibson. After making contact with Gibson, deputies told her that there was a possibility she had a warrant out for her arrest. According to the declaration of arrest, she allegedly had a traffic warrant for driving on a revoked license with no proof of insurance. After dispatch confirmed the warrant, officers took her into custody. Gibson had 2 bags on her, which the officers asked if she had any drugs or weapons on her, which she allegedly said that she did not. During the intake process at the Nye County Detention Center, officers allegedly found a small clear bag containing a white crystalline substance. The substance tested positive for methamphetamine. Kimberly Gibson has been charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance less than 14 grams and failure to attend on a traffic citation.
And area police say they arrest a man for having too much to drink before driving around town.
Wayne Clark was arrested and booked into the Nye County Detention Center after an alleged traffic stop. According to the declaration, Clark was traveling on Highway 372 approaching 160 when an officer observed that he was maintaining multiple lanes and failing to drive straight. Upon the traffic stop, the officer was allegedly able to smell the alcohol on Clark's breath. Clark confirmed these allegations, saying that he had approximately 5 whiskey and coke drinks less than an hour prior to driving. Clark also admitted having an alleged difficulty maintaining one lane while driving. Clark reportedly agreed to standardized sobriety tests, but in the end, they were not able to be conducted because Clark allegedly said that he was unable to complete them. Once transported, Clark took the standardized breathing tests, and they came back to say that Clark was indeed under the influence. Clark was booked into the Nye County Detention Center and is facing charges of DUI above the legal limit.
All right, don't grab that remote. We have much more local and Southern Nevada news for you, including more details on Juneteenth events all around Southern Nevada. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. Well, coming up soon, Henderson's Camp 911 program will be holding its graduation ceremony.
This Thursday, June 8th at 4 p.m., the City of Henderson will be hosting a graduation ceremony for their 3rd annual Camp 911 program, which gives middle school students between the ages of 11 to 14 an instruction to dispatch, fire, and police services. Camp 911 gives students the chance to learn about various aspects of law enforcement and emergency services in addition to teaching leadership skills. The course also emphasizes the importance of being a good citizen and making good decisions, and includes activities such as fire demonstrations, CPR instructions, SWAT or robot observations, and extraction demonstrations. This graduation event will be held at the Lifeguard Arena in Henderson, once again, this Thursday, June 8th at 4 p.m.
Well, News 25 is promoting a multi-day festival for Juneteenth, which begins on Friday, June 16th. However, you might be wondering, what exactly is Juneteenth? RJ Camacho is sharing all the history about Juneteenth and explaining what that holiday truly represents.
Recently, you may or may not have heard about a holiday called Juneteenth. You may have even asked the question, what the heck is Juneteenth? Well, this holiday is one that celebrates the day when freedom came to slaves in the state of Texas. As you may know, the Emancipation Proclamation issued by 16th President Abraham Lincoln declared that all persons held as slaves are and henceforward shall be free. However, this did not immediately make all slaves free. Freedom came on June 19th, 1865, when approximately 2,000 Union troops, issued by Major General Gordon Granger, arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas. It is there where the Army announced that the more than 250,000 enslaved Africans in the state were free by executive decree. This day is what would be known as Juneteenth. Despite this being the day celebrated as the end of slavery, the emancipation for the remaining enslaved did not actually come until later on in 1865, on December December 18th, when the 13th Amendment was ratified. Even so, since then, the day has been celebrated sparsely throughout our country, often celebrating African American culture. Now you may be asking, well, if this has been a holiday since 1865, then why am I only now hearing so much about it? Even though celebrations date back as far as 1866, the holiday was only first recognized as a federal holiday in 2021, when current President Joe Biden signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act into law. It is also noted that 45th President Donald Trump did recognize the holiday during his presidency, while it was still yet to be a federal holiday. Even though June 19th of 1865 does not mark the end of slavery itself, at the time, even in the state of Texas, June 19th, or Juneteenth, was a day of shared commemorations of slavery's demise.
In more local news, Nye County Research and Rescue and the Moose Lodge 808 are holding a donation dinner this weekend. Mikey Ruhan reports.
Nye County Search and Rescue and the Moose Lodge 808 is holding a donation dinner on Sunday, June 11th from 3 to 6 p.m. The dinner will be spaghetti with salad and garlic bread. There will also be a bake sale, lots of raffle prizes, and a special firearm raffle. Entertainment will be provided by Roy and Elvis. The Moose Lodge is located at 1100 2nd Street in Pahrump. For more information, call 775-727-6577.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights are announcing watch parties for their next 2 road games.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights have announced watch parties for Stanley Cup Games 3 and 4 while they're on the road. The team announced their upcoming watch parties planned for Games 3 and 4, which will be played in Florida at FLA Live Arena in Sunrise this week. Game 3's watch party will be at Circa's Stadium Swim on Thursday, June 8th, and Game 4's will be at the Las Vegas Ballpark on Saturday, June 10th. Both games start at 5 p.m.
All right, vital health information and more news for you when we return.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Well, in today's health news, doctors are sharing that for years they've been noticing an alarming rise in colorectal cancer in people under the age of 50, but they're not quite sure what is causing it. Now, Cleveland Clinic researchers are uncovering a possible culprit.
The way we use our carbohydrates to make our energy, the way we use proteins and everything and amino acids from our diet and other exposures, there's really a very strong relationship with cancer incidence, and that's really something that's not been described before in colorectal cancer at all.
Dr. Sunil Kamath led the research team. They studied samples of metabolites, which are substances created when the body breaks down food. Results show people younger than 50 with colorectal cancer had lower levels of citrate compared to older people with colorectal cancer. Citrate is created when the body converts food into energy. They also found important differences in protein and carbohydrate breakdown, which could suggest that red meat and sugar intake may be related to developing colorectal cancer at a younger age. Dr. Kamath says more research is needed, but there's enough evidence to suggest it's a good idea to reduce red meat and sugar in your diet.
Certainly limiting red meat consumption for sure. We've known that as a risk factor for colorectal cancer for a long time, and so I would certainly say our data supports that. Additionally, we know that obesity for sure is a big risk factor for developing any cancer, including colorectal cancer. So we think that the findings we showed with carbohydrate and energy metabolism probably relate to that to some degree as well.
And if you are experiencing any symptoms of colorectal cancer, such as bleeding, a change in bowel habits, or abdominal pain, doctors say that it's important for you to reach out to your personal medical provider, regardless of your age.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, it's hot outside, but look at that beautiful scene of some wild horses seeking some shady shelter. We'll take a closer look at those rising temperatures and maybe even cool off in the shade like them after the break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios and worldwide on the local BTV app. The app you just should get on your phone and get on that. It's fun. Good app. It's like having cable right there, but like no wire. Fernley, 81 degrees, 81 in Fallon. Weather Twins, congratulations. 77 in Carson City. Tonopah, what are you seeing? 75? That makes you the cool spot. Congratulations, good job. Goldfield at 76, not too much different. 85 out there in Beatty. 91 in Amargosa is the hot spot today. A little bit cooler today for a hot spot, don't you think? 89 in Vegas is just perfect poolside, and it's 101 out in Death Valley. Clicking on that AC with a vengeance in them triple digits. But here in the paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look. It's 86 degrees. That's our current temperature, 88 just a little bit earlier. Winds not all day, but out of the south-southwest to 14 miles per hour. Sun rose this morning in all its glory, hope and promise at 526. There wasn't any wind then, but look forward to set this evening at 7:58. Just shy of 8 bells. I think we picked up a minute of daylight on the morning side. That didn't look like that changed at all from yesterday. Low tonight, heading down to 62 degrees under clear skies. Humidity at 20%, seems bone dry, but look at this. We got clouds tomorrow. Yes, we do. Sunshine Friday. Clouds for the rest of the week, too, but no real talk of any kind of measurable rain. We'll see the temperatures coming this weekend in the low 90s, retreating back to the mid-80s, and then on their way back up into 90 world probably next week. But kind of a nice week of weather, a little spotty with the clouds, but nothing too bad here in the paradise Pahrump. Tell you what. All right, back to the desk. Here's UNet Gentry.
Thanks so much, John, and we appreciate you telling us about that nice cool down tomorrow in the upper 70s for the high and the 60s for the low. Yes, we can catch that cool breeze and maybe even some shade. Well, speaking of cool, the cool Las Vegas Aces, our world champion WNBA champs, are currently still undefeated. They are 6-0 and they have a game tonight. So good luck to our champion Aces. Here's to you holding on to that world title. All right. News 25 is still working hard for you, producing excellent TV production digital quality for the Pahrump Valley High School graduation DVDs and digital links. So if you were at graduation and didn't get a chance to purchase one, or if you missed graduation, here's your chance for an excellent front row seat to our TV quality production of that graduation ceremony, which featured fireworks and close-ups of the graduates. And so we're just about done editing. And if you would like to purchase your own physical DVD copy, or if you'd like to purchase a digital link copy that can be emailed directly to you, please call us and contact us here at KPVM at 775-727-9400. Those DVDs and digital links are $25 each, and there is a $5 charge if you would like us to mail a physical DVD to you. So please just give us a call. Contact us when you're ready to purchase that wonderful footage of memories that will last your graduate forever. All right, well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm UNet Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and Ace Country Radio, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on the air next newscast. Good night.